Peace to the planet Earth, man. We are here on a wonderful Tuesday, man. Yesterday, if you don't know, I'm gonna say what it was, man. It was Travion Blount Day, which is our esteemed guest, and of course with my sister Monique Yesenia. Um, I might have butchered her name again as I'm sitting here thinking about that, guys. This is live, so I'm sure she'll let me know if I did or didn't. But we excited. Before I bring them on, I just want to say this: when I was incarcerated, part of the story, part of the journey, part of the important piece for so many of us that are locked up is we need hope. A lot of times when you're behind those walls for so long, you start to lose hope. A lot of us were down not just for a year or 2 years. Some of us were down for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years plus. And we were looking for anything, anybody to just make it home and be free. Today, we're here with Travion Blount. Originally sentenced to 118 years, 6 life sentences at the age of 15. And as I think I read it earlier, I'm not sure, maybe I don't know where, but this is freedom. That's all I want to say. I'm gonna bring up my guests one at a time this time. My first guest, and we got people checking in already. Salute the Banky Pound. Anybody don't know, man, make sure you following his page too over there, YouTube, him, Catch More. They doing a lot of big things, man. Salute, as Banky Pound's already checking in, saying congratulations to my little brother. Salute the king. Definitely salute Travion. Um, my first guest, an integral part of this story, and they'll be on together and they'll be speaking together in regards to the journey, is my sister Monique. And I want to be clear, I'm gonna say this for her at the top of the hour because I know she's already getting a bunch of outpouring emails and everything else, which we get it, But I'm gonna say it, man. She's off guards, man. She's taking time off. She's retired. She's a former, but nonetheless, she carved her own path. She did what she did, and she'll still be, checking in from time to time. But I wanted to say that so she doesn't get overwhelmed with the emails, man. Advocacy is hard work. And a lot of times, man, we learn as we go down the path to set boundaries so we can stay the course for ourselves, man. We pour out a lot, and this sister right here pours out everything, not just with Travion, but with countless others. And we look at it as sister, mentor, and more. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring her up right now. Monique, what's going on, sis?
Hey, how you doing, life?
I'm good. I'm good. Before I bring Travion, I just want to give you an opportunity. I know a lot of people do know you, but if they don't know you, I just spoke about the former advocate piece, man. But if you can, please introduce yourself to the world in case they don't know who you are.
Yes, as Chris, I call Chris Life. As he just stated, I am Monique Yesenia, and I am a former advocate. I retired about 6 months ago. I had to take some me time. I've been through a lot of stuff, a lot of tragedy, a lot of health issues, and like all of that stuff, losing my fiance and and a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm just taking some time out for myself, and it feels good. uh I see the emails, I see those tempting retainers, I see all of that, but I have to pass on it. I'm also a certified life coach, a certified relationship coach, I'm a prison coach, and a reentry coach. So my life is giving back to returning citizens, period. It's not for money, it's not for clout, it's not for any of that. It's just, this is sincerely my heart, and this is my path for life. In life, where these are my steps that's ordained to help and give back as much as I can, to those who's returning back into society. And like, you was my student for 9 years,
Yeah.
and I love what I do. I love what I do, and I just love all you guys came home and y'all took off. I'm proud. I'm so proud. It makes me feel so good. It really does. I'm a mom of a 31-year-old. I'll be 52. That's about it. I love life. I love people. And if I can give back in any way, I will. I always will.
Indeed. I just want to say, I've made it custom here, man. I want to give you your roses in front of the world. I always do. You know, you my sister. Um, quick background story. She spoke to it. I was in St. Bride's, and we were given, you know, certain opportunities, but we couldn't get that extra push. We were fighting for certain things for the guys, certain opportunities. And here comes, you know, Monique. You know, I've known her for so long, like different name back then, man. But
Mm-hmm.
Monique walked in, boom, authentic, real, sincere. She didn't see it. I didn't get the feeling like she looked at us as prisoners or numbers. I looked at it. I seen somebody looked at us like we were men, brothers, nephew, whatever it was at the time. So I just want to say salute to you for being consistent with your hard work, your love, your sincerity, just everything that you do. And if anybody deserves some time off, it's you, sis. And if anybody would like to, if you want to refer to anybody for conversation, I'm open. I got my email open as well. But we got to protect those that have protected us, man. And I'm really big on that. I've watched a lot of people, unfortunately, close to me that are fighting advocacy, other things, and they don't get that part, man. So anybody that's watching this, that's on this live, self-care is key, especially in 2023, man. It's a
And
stressful.
I get the whole, you know, you want to get your family home. And something that I had, you know, sometimes self-talk is the best talk. And for me, I said, Mo, like, you can't save the world. I know I can't save the world. I got 16 people home in the last 10 years. I had 3 major worldwide cases, Travion being my biggest one that put me on a map around the entire world. Like, I have people in Italy, Africa, New Zealand, like friends now, like friends. So that makes me feel so great. They were there, even there for me when I was going through, when I was critical in ICU, when I came out of that a few months later, and I'm looking at videos and I'm looking at emails and people praying for me in their church and all that. Man, it was so overwhelming. Life, it was so overwhelming.
So,
And look at this day, they check on me in Travion to this day.
indeed.
I don't take that for granted at all.
Yeah. So salute. Hey, salute. I forgot what is it called? The chosen family. They were speaking about that on Breakfast Club this morning. There's a difference between your family and your chosen family. And they was breaking
Mm-hmm.
down how your chosen family is your tribe or the people that rally behind you and that really are there to love you, support you, build you up, care for you. So, man, salute to anybody, man. Salute to my chosen family, my support. Salute to everybody's support systems, man. I want to.
And I appreciate. I really, from the bottom of my heart, from the core of my heart, I so appreciate everyone's love and support around the world. I really do. It's like it brings me to tears. It's overwhelming and everything because you know that fight for Travion was difficult. 7.5 years. It was difficult. He was a stranger. He went from a stranger to literally being my bonus son living with me. So our
Yeah.
story is very unique, very unique. And I
Yeah.
love him. I love him with everything in me. I do.
Yeah. So let's get ready to bring the young king, man. Salute to the soldier. His brother Willie, man. I don't know if he's up here or not, man. Brother Willie, he said salute to the top soldier, man. Travion Blount became a rallying cry. There's always different ways that you can look at the story, but I know ours, those that were incarcerated, again, like I spoke about, hope is hard to find behind those walls. And when we heard his name and we heard what was going on, and we would hear rumblings like, okay, he back in court. We felt like we was in it. And it was crazy at the time. Some of us had pardons in and all that, and we weren't getting through. But guess what? We still felt good because he was getting through. He was a real one, and we knew it.
I heard
Um,
everybody celebrated in the prisons across the world.
and
I
everybody
mean,
was happy.
everyone.
Yeah, and the fact is, I'm getting ready to bring them up. As we think about this and we embark on this story, we get into these questions. Over sentencing is a reality here in the United States. It's a horror that there are so many countless individuals behind walls right now that were over sentenced because a judge woke up one day in a bad mood. That are over sentenced because a judge might have walked in the courtroom hungover the day before and didn't want to be there today. We've heard stories all over, but we've heard situations with the law enforcement. We've heard everything. We know that the
Yeah.
system is what it is. The cat is out the bag now. That they're running around saying overhaul. They're trying to overhaul, but they're missing one important piece. They're not tapping in enough with the people that are being behind those walls and the ones that are really trying to make a change.
And can I add? Can I
Yeah,
add?
of course.
Also, they do it because they can. It's really just that simple.
Hey,
They do it because they can. We all know the prison pipeline is a huge monetary business. It is huge. So everybody that they're collecting, they're getting paid for it. And they were really at the time Travion got incarcerated, and you know it was really big for juvenile lifers because it's stock in prison.
yeah,
And so, they it's just not the brown and black people, it's a Hispanic, it's poor white people, it's all of them. And it's a racist system, sadly. I see it all the time.
yeah,
Going to court, going to Capitol, whether it's Pennsylvania, whether it's Virginia, wherever it's at, I see it. I feel it when I'm sitting on panels. I feel it when I'm sitting next to a person, whether they're a white racist or a black coon. Let's call it what it is.
right.
So, it's terrible that we're paying the price to send their children to school, where our children are paying the price to buy their children Bentleys and houses and all of this stuff, because all this is money, and to
No,
keep their necks on those who come from neighborhoods like we come from. And it's sad. I can write a whole book on that. And I was thinking about, I'm an author as well. I was thinking about my life as an advocate. When I did my prayers and my meditation, and it came to me, and I know spirit talked to me, was just like my life as an advocate, and I can fill that whole book up. I can fill
yeah.
it up.
Oh, you need to. You could write a book. You could write a biography. You could write a how-to. You can go. Well, we talk. We ain't gonna put it all, but
It was times John, rest in peace to John Cogel, Travion's attorney. I miss him
salute him.
terribly. It was times that he would like have to tap me. Mo, chill out. I see you. I see your leg moving. I see you high.
Yeah,
And I'm like, yeah, stop tapping me, because I really feel like going off because of what we experience, even
yeah.
him and I together. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Blake.
We about to get. That's the
I'm
hey,
sorry.
hey, but that's the fighter in you, though. That, ladies and gentlemen, that's the fighter. We about to bring Trayvion up, and when I do, as we're embarking on this conversation, I just want you to think about this one question: how many more Trayvions are there right now behind prison walls? How many more Trayvions are sitting there and nobody knows that they're there? Nobody knows about their situation. How many Trayvions are sitting there and their family just doesn't know how to navigate through the legal system? That's what I want everybody to think about today. So we get ready to bring up Travion Blount, man. Good brother. Travion.
You on, Trey? He can't hear you.
Uh-oh. You might have, I'm gonna take you back out and you're gonna have to come back in probably.
All right. So, okay.
We'll get him. Technical difficulties.
He's not the technology. He's getting it. I'm proud of him for getting on like that. Like, he's getting it. But technology is like the biggest thing when brothers and sisters come home. It's a lot for me, and I've never been locked up.
Most definitely. I wondered why he's getting back on though. You spoke about John. You did a post earlier yesterday, I believe, on Facebook with the two of you, because I feel like he was, an integral piece of the story too. Can you just, shine some light on him real quick about who he was?
Ooh. John was an incredible man. Him and his wife actually passed away about 6 months ago. She passed away first, and he died 5 or 6 weeks later. And I was with him a few days, his last week of living. He was still feisty and talking smack, of course, even on his deathbed. And I remember fussing with him and crying. I was like, "Did you know you was leaving me? Did you know got dramatic and everything." And he just looked at me and just he wasn't scared to go. He's like, "My time, his time was up." And we hugged. We said, "I love you." He's not a mushy man at all. So, it was very emotional. When I got that phone call, I had to run to Orlando, and I spoke to him the day before, and I said, "John, you hanging on for me, right?" I said, "I'll be home tomorrow. As soon as I get off the plane, I'm coming to you." And he passed away. I got the phone call like midnight, and from his best friend, and he passed away. It was just terrible. Like, it was rough. It was terrible, 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 terrible. But I learned so much from this man. He has so much fight in him, and he wouldn't back down. And he fought for our people. He like 95% of his clients was Black, and he seen what was going on, and he didn't like it. He did pro bono for Travion for 14 years. 14 years pro bono.
That's unheard of. That's unheard of.
Pro bono. He assisted with the freedom of Lenny Singleton. You can hear us, Trey?
Yeah, I can you now.
Okay. He assisted us with the freedom of Lenny Singleton, Travis May. He was the first attorney to get uh, at that time, 3 or 4 pardons under one governor. And then right before he passed away, he got an additional 3 more under his belt. So his work spoke volume, and he didn't play. We spent plenty of nights working on Travion's case and up all night for years and fussing. And I'm like the only person that can really talk back to him. Some people would be like, "Okay." I'm like, "John, who are you talking to?" He was like, "My other wife." He would, like, that was a joke, my other wife. And but he was so passionate about. I was telling Travion and I was together earlier celebrating. We went out to dinner and stuff. Told Travion, like, I remember one night he said, "It was the last thing I do, the last breath in my body. I'm getting him home, Mo." And the way he looked at me, I said, "Oh, I believe you." And I said, "We going to get him home." And he said, "Yeah, they call us the dynamic duo." He's like, "Yeah, the dynamic duo." And so just his legacy will always, always, always be remembered. And he is definitely down in the history books for the state, well, for this world, for this world.
Yeah, salute to
And
John.
yeah,
Put the flowers in the chats, man. Salute to John. I think it's crazy. It's his legacy is here. It's stamped. It's in motion right now, which is a beautiful
mhm,
thing. And I think, for men, I don't know, maybe for everybody, but I think for some of us men, I think that's all whether it goes long, short, 70 years, 90 years, we just want to leave our mark, and I
yeah.
think, in my mind, without, I don't know him, but I feel like we find peace in that.
Oh
Um,
yeah, and he definitely left his mark. And he definitely left his mark, his legacy. And he just had to get Travion home,
yeah,
and he did just that.
he did
So
that.
big shout out to my old man. I called him my old man. Big shout out to him. I love him so much. I used to tell him, I said, "You're my favorite white guy. I got like 3 favorite white guys, and you're one of them."
I got
My other,
three.
look, my other white guy is up here right now, Adam. Shout out to my coworker Adam. He's up
Shout
here,
out to Adam.
and and Jason Flom. So y'all my 3 favorite white guys. So, like,
Shout out to
he's so
everybody.
good. Hmm.
Shout out to everybody. We got Travion up here. Technical difficulties out the way. That's why it's live, y'all. We live streaming. Salute to you, King, first and foremost.
Thank you,
Definitely got
brother.
to say that.
My baby.
I know, I know for anybody that doesn't know you, we've already spoke a lot to who you are. I just wanted to definitely give sis an opportunity to speak to who you are, what's going on, but now we get to hear it from you.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
If you can, man, just introduce yourself. If anybody doesn't know who you are, introduce yourself, man, to the world.
My name is Travion Blount. Was sentenced to 6 life sentences plus 118 years. Just been freed for the second time yesterday. On my freedom for the second time.
Let's go.
Hey, yo,
Let's go.
yo, give me. I'm right here today. It feels good, man. I'm waiting on. I got pushed back, but this Friday, man. This Friday, I'm about to be free for a second time. So I feel it.
Yes.
I feel it
Yeah?
through my veins.
All right, man.
Yeah,
Hey, look,
man.
it feel like being released all over again, man.
I can't wait, man. It was supposed to be a couple weeks, but it's all right. I said delay is not denial. I wait till Friday. It's all good. Cause when I can't wait to post my paper up there.
There you go.
Hey,
There you go.
yeah, man. So, man, salute to you, Trayvion. So many questions. I had just posted around like 6:30. I don't know what it was. That we were gonna get up here. And again, thank you guys both, man. I had a million questions. I've always had a million questions. And then people started flooding, my messenger, my inbox, etc., with questions. But first and foremost, I think I'm big on mental health as well as incarceration, and the impacts of incarceration. And I'm thinking about, before we get into anything else, I'm thinking about a young man that was 15 years old. I wasn't there with you, but I remember I was 19. But I'm thinking I seen a little bit more of the world. I was in the military. I was doing a little bit more, right? Maybe not. But you're 15, and you're sitting in this courtroom, and they read these numbers: 118 years, 6 life sentences. How are you? Yesterday we seen the smile just now, second time free, but really, like, how are you? Like, is it?
I'm great. I'm great.
That's the beautiful
great.
thing, man.
Great.
Hey, I wanted to ask you that. I feel like sometimes people just dive and how are you? Because I wish people would have asked me that more. And it's good to see that. Hey, we talked a little bit earlier, and I feel great too. So let's get into. Hey, I feel great. And I'm glad you're doing good, man. The countless young men, women in the juvenile system right now fighting lengthy sentences, as well as us, adult system, fighting lengthy sentences. Here you are. You are given a number that's thrown at you. It's obscene. I think I put it in the comments, and I know Mo definitely, she did a post about it yesterday on Facebook. If anybody doesn't know, he said he got 118 years and 6 life sentences for basically 2 cell phones, 2 joints, and $60. What were your thoughts when the sentence got read off? Like, where was your mind at that moment at 15?
Confused.
Mm-hmm.
Confused, at the same time, like you said, I was 15 that when it happened. Was 16, right? 16 when I got sentenced. I was 15 when it happened. I was 16 when I got sentenced. So it was like, it was confused. I thought, for real, I took it as a joke. I'm still young, so I was confused, took it as a joke, and really ain't think nothing of it. And I really ain't think nothing of it until, to be honest, when I got released. That I was never coming home. Like, it ain't really like sink in like until I actually got released.
That might have almost been an advantage. I'm trying to think, because you never. So at 15, like you say, you didn't take it too serious. You just going through the motions. They read it, but you never registered. You didn't. Is it that you didn't accept that as truth, or you didn't even think about it that way?
Kind of both. Like, you've been in prison. You was young, so it's like, I was young, so it's like, okay. This what happened. go back to continue doing.
Uh-oh.
You know, it just ain't really sink into. They actually said that, you know, pack up, like you going home, like, you know, and that's when that, like, the draw for tears came, like, yo, I was really not never coming home, you know, like I was really not coming home.
That's crazy. I want to ask you.
John told me when he was in court. I don't know, you lived this, so I'm sure your mom told me this too, Trey. When y'all was in court, when you got sentenced, when the judge sentenced you, you looked at your mother and said, "What happened, Mom?"
Yeah, that was the confusion. Like
because he could not process what the judge had just gave him, and then they was taking him away. So John told me that, and me and your mom sat down and talked one night, and like she was confused. The whole court was confused. You know, that was very harsh and cruel. It really was. And then, you know, two adults took him there, and like it just, all he needed was some rehabilitation and probably mentoring, and he might have gotten in trouble maybe a time or two, you know, if they would have gave him that. But people have to understand the environment, the people the adults that he was around that should not even had a 14, 15-year-old tagging along with him bringing them with him anyway. But that's devastating. Just listening to this, when you said it, Life, that question was a great question. You know, it takes me back. It blows me back because I picture it in my mind all the time.
Well, with your lawyer, did you have a paid attorney, or were you assigned one from the Commonwealth?
It was John.
I signed one.
Oh, what? It was John the whole time?
John's a public defender.
You said 13 years. You said 13 years pro bono, or 14 years pro bono. Oh, but he was from the start.
Yeah, he was a public defender for the state of Norfolk.
I missed that's me. I missed from the start. I thought he got on the case after the fact. So you did have John at the beginning.
He was there from day one, and he was so disgusted what happened. He said, I could not leave him hanging like that. I got to get him home. As a public defender. Public defenders don't do that. No,
I've heard of like one other good public defender in my life, and I've never heard of one like John. Not like that. Because let me tell you, my public defender, when I got like, I don't even know what happened. He just refused to respond to a letter or anything. So again, salute to John. I thought he came in after the sentence, and that was on me.
John did a lot of pro bono work. He did. Yeah. He became very wealthy after these releases. He became very wealthy. Right. He would get on me all the time. Like, it came to a point, like, he'd be like, "You're not charging for consultant phone calls? We're the dynamic duo." He was charging for consultant phone calls. I'm like, a lot of people that's hitting me up, they're poor, and you know, and I couldn't do that. And he was like, I remember him saying, "Mo, you got to get a backbone. You tough and everything. You got to get a backbone. You know, get your money." I'm like, no, I just wasn't on it like that. But yeah, he became, you know, very well off after the fact. But he did a lot of pro bono work for people of color. He definitely did.
What, Travion? So I know when the sentence got passed down, what did John tell you? Like, what did he say to you as far as, you know, what was going to happen next? Did he say, "Hey, I'm coming, we're gonna keep fighting," or what was the message?
Appeals. You know, appeals. You know, you heard that when you get sentenced anyway from lawyers. Appeals. But John fought though, man. He stuck around, man. After all the appeals and open, he kept filing motions. It got to the point he was coming all the way to Wallace Ridge to see me, you know, telling me what he's doing for my case. And that's even before we thought about a part. He was still pushing and fighting for my case, man. And after everything got denied, he just was like, you know, well, how about we just try this? You know, the only thing they can do is tell us no. So everything
was exhausted. Yeah. He exhausted all appeals. And you know how that goes for cases. Once you exhaust, what else do we have? We had to appeal, and
Let
then
me
John didn't
yeah.
stop. John did not stop. He won't trying to hear no for an answer. He won't, man.
they woke up a sleeping giant. That's what they
Oh,
He,
they
did.
did.
he definitely did, man.
And then behind your situation, he went on a roll.
On the
Mhm.
road,
They need to do a movie about John. They need to
it's
do a
facts.
Yes.
book of John. I don't know, something, anything, man. Um, I want to ask you this, Mo, just in case anybody didn't get, when did you get information in regards to Trayvion's, or how did you come, like, what was the moment where you were like, yeah, I'm about to go ahead.
I seen his case on Facebook. I seen, shout out to Lou Henson. I don't know if Lou Henson's up here. But I sent him the link and he texted me earlier. If it wasn't for Lou Henson, the journalist, he broke the story. And when he seen that story, he was outraged, disgusted, and all these things. So he put it on the front page of the Virginia Pilot. And so it came on my timeline. So I'm reading it. I read the story probably, no lie, about 7 to 8 times, and I was just crying the whole time. And then when I came out of it, people were tagging me or whatever. So I ironically have a son um, named Trayvion, and they're the same age. They're a few
Yeah.
weeks apart. So the irony of that, so I kept thinking about my baby. Shout out to my son. He just came on too. Like I kept thinking about my child. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta do something. I was already advocating, but not to this level. I feel I had helped about 4 people get home, but nothing like this. And so I read the story, I cried, and then what I did was I wound up making a post saying, "Does anybody know his family?" And my homeboy Al knew Taisha, Travion's sister. They went to school together, and connected me with her. So I hit her up and I told her, I said, "You don't know me, whatever, whatever, whatever." And I said, "But please, can you, your mom, just trust me, just meet me tomorrow." So we met at Olive Garden the next day. I didn't know John. I wasn't trying to stop on his toes or anything like that. But I told his mother, I'm gonna do what I know best. So when we met, we was in Olive Garden for 4 hours. His mother's crying, and I took my hands and I said, "Take my hands." I said, "I need you to trust me. Do you trust me?" And she just, with tears in her eyes, she just shook her head. And then from then, I just took off. I did a petition that night. His petition started going viral. I kept pushing. I created his social media platforms. I kept pushing, pushing. I was harassing Richmond every day, calling them. I was telling people to call, emails, and everything. So I bought a light to his case on a worldwide level, and they don't like that. They don't
Nah.
like that type of that attention at all. So I kept pushing and I kept pushing and pushing. And I know, if anything I know about appeals and exhausting all the appeals, that takes time. That can take up to 7 to 15 years sometimes, 20 years sometimes. And I kept saying, I kept praying, and I was like, I know I'm not oblivious. And I was like, Allah, please, like, I know this is going to be a process, but please make this a short process. And so it was a short process considering, but
Yeah.
Travion, it probably felt like a lifetime.
Right.
But so I just kept moving, kept going. I had a great support system. Most of the people that I see that's on right now, shout out to Camille and Trina and everybody, they supported Ivy. Like, everybody kept pushing along with me, and I just would not take no for an answer. And I was up in their face in Richmond. I was speaking to who I needed to speak to. John would tell me, "Mo, chill." Like, chill. I'm like, this has nothing to do with you. It does, but it doesn't. What I'm saying and what I'm doing. I bump head with officials and everything. Um, but I knew I was getting my baby home. I knew that. Please
Somebody,
believe that.
that's why
That's my son right there. I was getting my baby home.
that's when passion meets purpose, man. I'm Trey. I want to ask you this. She spoke a little bit about the fight and the fact she was catching flack, because we know that people they don't like certain things.
They don't.
They don't. What was your journey like in prison? In regards to that? when your name started getting when they were like, okay, he's getting back in court? Were people supportive of you as far as prison staff and stuff like that, or were people kind of
when I got to Lowland, yeah, there's a lot of people who, you know, supported and knew what was going on. But you know, I was at Wallace Ridge, so it was really won't know, you know, it really won't definitely that support up there. You get what I'm saying? I ain't start seeing, you know, the support and actually seeing people care till I got to, I think it was Lawrenceville.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when, you know, we get their news, they can see our news down here, so they basically, you know what I'm saying, seeing what was going on.
Was Wallen Rich? So what was your path through prison? I always ask brothers, what you went from receiving to where, or what was your journey?
Straight to Wallace Ridge.
Can you let everybody know what that is and how old you were when you went there?
I was 17 when I got up there, and that was a level 5? A level 5 prison. So
they sent Travion. I'm gonna break it down from my perspective. They sent Trayvion in there, 17 years of age, in a level 5 Wallens Ridge. Besides maybe Red Onion, although they could be tied, they got the worst of the worst. Not everybody's a monster. I'm not gonna say that, but these institutions, these spreads are designed so that you get sent there if you're a problem in the system, if they deem you a problem, or if you are an actual problem. If you got stabbing charge, you got anything like that, if you got violent offenses, anything, you get sent there. 17 years old, you in Wallens Ridge, not too much movement. What was your next spread? You mentioned Lawrenceville. What was after Wallens Ridge, or did you go straight there?
It was straight to Wallace, from Mecklenburg, straight to Wallace Ridge till I spent 7 years up there, 7.5 years up there.
Then I got you to River North.
Then River North first opened that. I went there.
Well, you opened River North.
Yeah, I opened that up.
That it was a short stint there, and then you went to Lawrenceville, and then we got our news, and then you went to Greensville to finish your sentence. Yeah,
then I got the part from Lawrenceville, then went to Greensville.
So you hit, well, for me, again, anybody that hasn't experienced the prison system, especially specifically Commonwealth of Virginia, basically all the spreads he named, they what we call big boy compounds. That's where it goes down there. I was on Sussex, Greensville, St. Bride's. I hit Sussex twice because I ran my, yeah, that's another story. We'll get into that one. But yeah, I'm just saying. So I'm thinking, man, 17, Wallens Ridge, making your way through prison. Briefly, though you're great today, which is a beautiful thing. Maybe you were great the whole way through, because I actually know a brother that I feel like he's a Buddhist monk, and he's still incarcerated right now, unfortunately, but I've never seen that brother upset. What was your experience as far as like mentally, emotionally growing up in prison? What were your thoughts watching certain things? I got locked up when I was 19. I came home at 36. I missed my 20s. And I remember, I'm watching my 5-inch TV back then years ago. I'm watching BET, whatever. 106 in Park was still jump. And I'm, certain songs, I'm like, dang, man, I'm just missing certain things. And that's when it would hit me.
Exactly.
Summertime, I think I had finally made it to a lower level. I was on Haynesville, and it was so close to this trailer park, I could smell the hamburgers cooking on the grill. And I had, man, what was the impact? What were the thoughts as far as growing up? Did you feel like you missed things? Did you feel like you didn't? Like, what's your overall? Because you went.
Yeah, 15. I went away when I was 15. Yeah.
And how long were you? You 14?
Yeah, 14 and a half. 14 and a half years.
So what was that like as far as growing up?
It was tough, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, again, like you've been in prison, so it's like when I was in there, I tried to keep my mind off certain things as much as I can. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? I know that I'm gonna be living here for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep my mind off the what ifs, you know what I'm saying, or the street life. Don't get me wrong, I stayed on the phone and it kept me humbled a lot. But I get off the phone and brush that right off. You get what I'm saying? Because that's, that'll put you in depressed mode a lot. You get what I'm saying? So I try to, being I wasn't going home, it was like, I got to, I threw the what ifs out as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So don't get me wrong, I had my nights and my days and my bunk, sharing my tears, but it's like I seen that drag people. You know what I'm saying? I see, certain people, you see the ones sitting in the park that then lost their mind. You know what I'm saying? I was like, and I couldn't see myself doing that. No matter if I was going home, I wouldn't allow myself to be one of, what I'm saying, the people who then lost themselves, never going home. And I seen a lot of people like that, man, like off medication, and it's like, I can't do that. Like, that'll never be me. Here or not, that'll never be me.
We've seen it. You spoke on it. I can say, and that's why I say we've seen guys come in. Hey, man, I know a buddy of mine, this is water under the bridge now, but he used to get money. He used to stay with a a female supporter or whatever he was into, like he do tattoos. I carry himself.
Mm-hmm.
One day, you know what I'm saying? That whatever it was, he started to decline. And what he's talking about is, your ability to stay strong mentally and emotionally in that environment. Because if you let yourself go for too long, you're gonna have your moments, but it's a dangerous slope. And what happens is a lot of times guys end up on medication. The quick answer in penitentiary is to put a guy on Seroquel or Thorazine. If he's stressed or if he has anxiety or if he expresses that he's sad. Of course he's going to be sad if he's in prison, but there should be ulterior motives or arterial routes, and there isn't. And then you got guys that just mentally, they don't, not even with medication, they just lose it. They can't accept the fact that they're sitting in prison. We've seen guys, I can speak on myself, that had less than 5 years that attempted to take their own life because they just couldn't deal with that part. And that's why I say salute to you and your mental fortitude, because it's one thing to stand up with a number thrown at you like that, 118 plus 6. And then it's another thing to navigate without having a definite way out, and to accept that in a sense, like, I'm not going to let it defeat me. So that's
true indeed.
I can only imagine what else you about to get into out here. You gonna run for president? We need it. Never mind. I'm gonna get off. So, man, so you navigating, you stay, mentally strong. Salute to John again, from day one, which is unheard of. Which is literally, usually, I don't know if anybody doesn't get it. People give up. Like,
exactly.
Especially
John played a big factor in that too, man. Cause John once a month, I'm gonna have a piece of paper, a piece of mail coming from John. Like, look, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. So, my hope was humble. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody see the hope, but it's like getting that piece of mail saying we just filed this and this. It gets you like, oh yeah, got a shot. You know what I'm saying? You know how it is in there. Oh, I got a shot. So he kept that, man. I don't care, once a month, it was something coming through that legal, envelope saying, this is what we doing. I'm doing this. I don't care what it was. John sent everything he did. He sent.
Yeah. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. He was very thorough with paperwork, and he was very thorough. He had so much order, like so much order. And I would tell him, I'm like, we need to scan this paperwork into, what do you call them? The little files.
Like a zip drive. Flash drive.
And he'd be like, I'm not doing that. We can do that, Mo, but I'm keeping every piece of paper, everything I've sent. And he would make copies, and then there's still stuff in storage to this day. I need to call his friend and see what he's doing. I got a couple of I made sure I took all the Travion files and gave it to him, and he had a lot. It was a lot of paperwork. And John just was, he put all of his money into his money. He didn't ask for no money from nobody. And trust and believe me, it was well over $50,000, $60,000 that he put into Travion, because he knew it was such an injustice that he could not wrap around his head why the judge would do that.
Yeah, he was sowing. Salute, man. Let me what was it like, Travion, when you first spoke to Sid, when you first spoke to Mo? What were your thoughts when you? I feel like in my mind, I don't know if anybody watches wrestling, like Royal Rumble, like a new competitor enters the ring or whatever. Like I feel like that's like another charge of inspiration. You like, okay, I got somebody else on my team.
Another fighter.
Come out of nowhere too. Like,
Another
okay,
fighter come out of nowhere.
okay. What were your thoughts? What was the moment, the day of, or how did it go? Did you get a letter? Did it was a phone call? Like the job? Like who?
A letter. I got a letter from Monique. And it's like, like you get some mail for certain people trying to, work on your cases, like whatever, man.
Yeah.
Whatever. But when Mo wrote me her letter, Mo told me, she was like, her first words is, "I'm going to get you home." Like that was her exact words. Like, "I'm going to get you home." So it was like, well, damn, she came off this strong. I might be going home.
Hey.
Like this,
You got it.
You got to believe in it. Mo definitely was a big help, a big inspiration. Like I said, that's her first letter. That's exactly what she said. Like, Mo, you're going to come home. Like, and I think I had got the first part already, and she wrote was like, "That's not enough. Like, I'm not going for this. Don't even know me. I'm not going for that." Like, they had dropped the original sentence to 40 years, and she was just like, "That's not enough."
It's not enough. That's not
No,
enough.
it wasn't, because he would have fell under the geriatric law, and he wouldn't been able to go up for probation until he was 65. I was like, what is this? I was like, he's gonna come home an old man, and I was like, which means he'll, not to say that he couldn't, take off, but when you're 65, 70 years old coming home, you go into the existing mode and not living mode, and
Exactly.
that's just not what's gonna. I just couldn't settle for that, and then at the time, Governor McDonald, it was a lot of controversy going on with him. So I went in for the kill just for that. As soon as he was exposed for, all the stuff that he was exposed for the bribery and all that stuff with his wife, and he was facing time. They were facing time and everything. And I'm like, this is just not fair. And then we found out, like, he didn't sign some paperwork or something. Remember Travion?
Yep.
And they was giving Travion all his time back to 118 years and 6 life sentences. I was pissed. I remember not sleeping for 3 days. I remember that. I said, John, like, what's up? What we gonna do? Because now my boxing gloves is really on. I'm ready to take heads off. In my Brooklyn voice, I'm ready to take heads off. So
psychologically, that would have been like,
it's just too much. And how I'm gonna anytime I got the news, I guess the news I didn't want to get, or to me was bad news. I was so emotional because I'm so invested in this case and so invested in Travion. I'm like, how the fuck am I going to tell Travion and his mother this?
No question.
Because of course John and I would find stuff out first. Like, how I'm going to tell him this when he calls, or how I'm going to go to his mama house and look her in her face, and I got to tell her this or that and this and that. That was very heartbreaking to me. I'm somebody's mother. So like it was very, very heart-wrenching, to say the least. We had hit potholes, we had hit a bumpy road and stuff like that, giving thanks, all praises be to Allah that we're here now. But they tried to fight us back, but my gloves was bigger. I was going for the big KO.
No question. So I want to move to this side of things now. We spent enough there, I feel like. You get the call. Well, how does it go down? In case anybody doesn't know, how did you find out you were coming home?
Through the in the entry pod, like in the parole reentry pod, they'll let you know, like, when you have your damn, what is the meeting called, man? I forgot already, man. It's like how they meet. You say good, yeah, I forgot already. Like, they have your meetings in the afternoon, then you have your meetings in the morning. But they had when they first moved in that pod, they told me I had to do a year reentry. So I had already had in my back of my head, like, okay, I came in February 27th. I should be leaving them out here February 27th. So I was putting the pressure on my counselor. Like, look, the 27th next week now. I mean, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So she had to keep calling Richmond. You know, I was putting the pressure on Mo, calling Mo hour on top of the hour. Like, yo,
He was.
you heard anything? You heard everything?
Ready to
So
go.
that I don't think they was telling Monique or my lawyer them nothing at
They
the
wasn't.
time. I don't think
They
they was
wasn't.
nothing.
But keep
So
in mind, Travion, keep in mind, you originally they wasn't trying to let you come home to 2021 of April.
yeah, exactly.
Originally,
Yep.
they were trying to hold them in Greensville for 3 years, and then they cut off 2 years, and with stipulations like I was like, let him come home with me and stuff, and so you know that's what happened. I said let him come, and John was like, are you crazy? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm really not. I'm like, let him come home with me. I said, pass it on to the governor, whatever. Let him be released to me. We moved to a bigger house and everything for him. So he got his own space and everything. And so, you know, and then they cut his time to February 27th, whatever year that was, Trey. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I was gonna ask you to break that down because you said it, you know what I'm saying, but I don't know if everybody who really heard that. Not only did you fight for him, but you said, hey, he can come home, we're gonna get a bigger house, space, he got support, he's gonna be all right. Salute to you. I'm really Trayvion, I wouldn't have been sweating either at that point. I wouldn't even, because I'm just sitting in hindsight with you, the dynamic duo, because you had somebody, a pro bono, and I'm just saying for just descriptive purposes, because he was way more than that, but a pro bono attorney that for 14 years rumbled from day one, and then you had Mo, your advocate, that when she said she was gonna get you home, even if I got to tell the governor you coming home. How did you feel when that part of the conversation came, when it got introduced to you? You was like, hey, whatever we got, I'm with it. Thank you.
Exactly. Whatever you tell me to do, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I would
tell me to, man. But it was even though I was going at that point, it's like even when they called my name that morning, with that night, when she told me like, look, you going in the morning, it's like it was still unbelievable. Like I ain't sleep. I don't even think I took a shower. Like, I couldn't even take a shower.
Yeah, he was a mess. But he knew before me and John did. Remember, Trey?
They told us at our afternoon meeting. She surprised me, and she came in. I ain't seeing her like a week, so she came in and was like, "I've been hearing Blount been putting the pressure on people to call me this and this," and she was like, "You're going home tomorrow, boy," and that was it. And I was in there.
Yeah, that was so crazy. I was like, John, did you get the call? Well, John called me. He said, Mo, did you? I said, no. I said, did you? He was like, hell no. And I remember him saying, what the fuck is this shit? Right? And so I'm laughing and I'm like, no. I said, we'll see. I said, I'm going to wait for Trey to call me. I think I J-paged him, like, call me ASAP. And he told me, he said, I'm coming home tomorrow. I'm like, what? So we had to scramble. I had to take off work. We had to scramble, go rush and fill up my tank and all of that stuff. And I had to tell his mom and his sisters and aunt and them. And I'm like, yeah, we gotta peel out it. We gotta be there like by 7 a.m. And you should have seen Greensville with all of the daggone cops and COs out there. Like he was Charles Manson or something. I was like, oh my goodness.
They had the whole brigade out there, bro.
I was confused about it. I said, all these COs, all these people.
Like, even when they told me, it was like, she told me I was going home, but at the same time, like, I ain't believe it. It was like, I was scared for her. Like, well, what if this happened? Like, what if tomorrow coming and some bull crap that happened? Something else that came up. No,
we all go through it. We all go through it. Let me tell you, that night before is the longest night ever.
That felt like the whole bid. That one night felt like my whole entire bid. That one night.
Well, I know you heard it, Trey. They say you only do 2 days. They say you do your first day and your last day. Those are
exactly. I believe.
Oh wow, that makes sense though.
Now,
I never got that until I was out. Man. Let me tell you something. So when you got locked up, you were 15, sentenced at 16, you do 14 and a half years, you're home. I always like to talk to the brothers about transition, how it was on this side of the things. Talk about me real quick. I almost crashed the car 14 times. Let me see what else. I didn't know how to use my debit card at the gas tank. What else did my wife have? Shout out to my wife, man. My wife, she taught me everything I know. It's like I came home and I knew nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Had to start off.
Yeah. Shout out to April. My journey was, I got locked up before social media and a lot of technology. I got locked up in 03. Hopefully he bounces back. Mo, what years, or what was it? Because I don't think we mentioned that in the chat. What were the years that he was locked up for?
Trey, you moving around. Come back. What year? What?
What were the years that he was locked up for? Just so everybody knows the time span.
I really can't think. 2008 until 2020.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe 2007 to 2020. Yeah, because it was almost 14 and a half. So whatever that math is. Well, hello, Travion. Yeah, that was Trayvion, what year you got locked up? What year was that? 2008,
2006.
2006.
Wait, hold on, I'm gonna beat you. Stop moving around. Mama Bear's here now. Are you texting? Because you need to stop texting.
I ain't texting. I'm in the camera.
Oh, okay. My bad. I'm sorry, y'all. You know, I still got to go into mama mode. I don't care if we live on air. I'm still going to go into mama mode.
Well, hey. So 2006 to 2020?
Yep, 2006.
Yeah.
2020.
Okay. So I was off a year. Okay.
Yeah, 2020. Yeah.
Okay. I came home 2020. So this gonna be a good. This is gonna be a good part of the conversation, right? I have not met anybody else that came home So when I came home January 13th, and I looked up. When you come home?
I came in February. A month after you. I came in February.
February 27th.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. How did you feel? Right? I don't. Maybe you looked at it differently. This is how I looked at it. I was waiting to come home, and then I came home, and the world was ending, which we know it didn't end. But at the time,
right,
the pandemic hits. We're supposed to find jobs, which it wasn't that hard for me actually, but it might have been hard because I found a job, but they closed it down because of the pandemic. But we're watching the news, I'm watching the news and all this stuff's going on, and I'm not trying not to deal with the anxiety of coming home. Again, this was my experience. I was nervous when I came home. Did you have any thoughts? Did the pandemic even bother you? Were you just like, yo, I'm glad to be here, don't even matter? Like, what was it like? What was going through your mind? You coming home, locked up 15, come home 14 and a half years later, boom, pandemic.
I was all right. If COVID had to get me, I won't sit still. That's how to get me. It didn't bother me. Like I was out and about. It definitely stopped me from working.
Yeah, me neither.
Definitely on it. Like, stuff we go through in prison. You flew here, flew there, CAFA, and I won't trip on no COVID.
I was a garbage.
He was going to work. He definitely was going to work every day. Travion don't miss no money, and Travion he never misses work at all.
Yeah, you like me, bro. I was on a garbage truck on the back of it during the worst time in the history you could have been, pandemic. I didn't get sick though. I got that check. I'll tell you that.
I got that check. I ain't never catch it neither though. I never caught it.
Hey man. So pandemic, you were able to navigate. We just spoke about the work part. You're like me. I didn't care where I worked because I was making 27 cents, 35, 45.
Exactly.
I didn't care. Some guys, when they come home, I know you've seen it. Some guys, I don't want to work there. Man, let me tell you something. I will work anywhere at this point if somebody that's not inside that prison, man. Anything that's gonna be doing something positive. So you had this great support system. Pandemic, didn't get too much in the way. Work wasn't an issue. Was there anything that did seem like a hurdle or obstacle for you, or maybe still be now? Is there anything that you like, dang, I gotta get on?
Only thing that still bothers me, that bothered me for the, from the get go, is electronics and self checkout. That's the only hurdles.
Self checkout is ridiculous. Self checkout is a torture device.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't like it.
Other than that,
he does not like self checkout at all. He will stand on a line that's wrapped around the building before you do self checkout.
Hey, better to wait in that line than the microwave line in the penitentiary. I feel you, bro. Hey,
that's really it. Everything else, far as coming home, it's been a cupcake, because everything I manifest, everything I thought about, everything that I daydreamed about, I put it into action. You get what I'm saying? Like, I didn't come home and waste no time. That's a lot of people do. They sit around at the prison tables eating their swolls, talking about what they're gonna do, and don't come out here and do it. You get what I'm saying? Like, I didn't waste no time. Like, I think I had my job the first week home. I had a job.
Yeah,
I didn't listen to everybody. Take 2 months. Nah, I want a job like now.
Yeah, he got it within like 4 days.
Yeah, let me tell you something, man. One thing I've learned in my 3 years, and you probably already know this: do the abnormal things, do the opposite of what everybody else does.
Exactly,
and continue to make the hard decisions. And I promise you, you will be just fine, bro. You are already great, but that's what I learned, man. A lot of us, we don't get that. When we come home, we don't get that part. You know, it's not, you want to be outside the crowd. That's where it's easy to move there.
Exactly.
So we talked about that, man. There's a couple more questions I'm thinking about that were in the messenger. Somebody asked if you were married, but you don't have to answer that. Or did you have a love interest? Some young lady. I said, what the heck is going on here, Trayvion? Yeah, you're a superstar, bro. But
yeah, because Lord knows I run his social media and them women. Goodness.
Yeah, somebody
the fans is it is crazy.
Yeah, somebody immediately was like, I was like, is this legit? I should never mind. I'm not gonna put it, but
oh no, it's legit. You gotta see the inbox messages in the social media I run, and I'll be like, Travion, these women, like women are ready to pack up and move here, don't even know him.
Yeah,
and want to be a ride or die and all of this panty shots, boob shots. Like, I done seen it all in that inbox because they think it's him.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, girl.
Well, you're not on. Well, we talked about social media. That's not your thing.
Yeah, on no social media, man.
No. Hey, I know one other guy, and he might be. The only thing he is on is YouTube, because he watches stuff on YouTube. Outside of that, and I wish I could be the same way, man. That's like a life hack. I think social media takes off 2 years of your life. I don't know.
No, I agree.
I'm
going in, this year is just, promoting my events, my 2 events, and that's pretty much it. But I go up there maybe once or twice, maybe every like 2 days or something now at this point.
Right. Well, guys, I think we're bringing this to a close. We got a lot in. Hey, I didn't know you came home in 2020, which is good. Which is good. Yep. But because nobody came home. I felt like nobody got that part. There was a group of us that came home during the pandemic, and you got it. You're somebody that's maintained being successful, move forward, but not many people did. There were a lot of us that came home that time that did not make it through that part, man. Because it was stressful. You know what I'm saying? I just think about the situation and different things. So you were blessed, man. Your support system. I got to shout out mine as well. Anybody that's out there supporting anybody coming home from incarceration or that is incarcerated, definitely want to salute to you guys. I
want to shout out the wives and girlfriends too, and the moms and the sisters and stuff, because you know, they really, really, the women, of course, you know, we birth a nation, and we're the first teachers and we're the nurturers and all of that great stuff. And the loyalty from women standing with their men. If I see a client, if I go visit people in prison or whatever, majority of the visiting room is women.
No question.
And it's like, please honor your women brothers who came home from prison that are, you know, we're not perfect. You know, try not to sometimes the insecurities kick in, because the insecurities is fear for your woman. And you know, sometimes it can be difficult. Sometimes, you know, your brothers come home and your wives and stuff is acting like a warden. Um, because understand that it's just fear. You know, I felt the same way about Travion when he came home. I didn't even want him to go outside for real. But, you know, he's a grown man and I had to let him just, I'm like, Trey, all I need you to do is just check in with me every day. But, and he, you know, he does that. Like, he's very, very, very protective of me, very protective of me. And, you know, he came out soaring and doing great. But, you know, brothers, if you up here, just be mindful of your women. And if you feel that you cannot maintain a relationship, let her go, because she doesn't deserve that pain. I deal with a lot with returning citizens and their women. Please believe me. So
Yeah.
I needed to say that. It's kind of like off topic, but I did need to say that. And it's nothing that y'all can't get through. If y'all got through a bid together, shit, you can get through anything else, for real, for real.
Yeah.
Be very supportive to those who are incarcerated. You're not obligated. Honestly, you're not. But try and be supportive. I try and support as much as I can. Quarterly, I do cards, I do letters, I do, you know, I'll raise a few dollars for if I can put phone time on people's books. And I do, y'all all know I do returning citizen boxes with cosmetics, and I give them out when the brothers and the sisters and stuff come home, so they can have toiletries, a gift card, or whatever. And fun fact about me that nobody knows: when I have a group of people, because I have a lot of pride, so I don't like asking nobody for shit. Every now and then I'll do a post, because I got 30 people coming home within the next 60 days or whatever. I'm doing this, I'm putting these boxes together. But fun fact about me, when I do extra money, well, I mean, if I have to do extra money, I'll go Uber Eats for the brothers and sisters that come home, just so I can do the boxes, because I know what they need. So for me, this is not a game. For me, and I always show receipts. Always. I don't play with people's money. But I know I'm a little off topic, but I feel like I need to say these things. And thank you to everybody who supported Travion and myself and my movement, anything I do in my movement. Travion came home soaring, and his bedtime is about to hit about 9:30, y'all. But I call him Grant, because he working. He go to sleep by 9:30, like he's knocked out by 9:30, for real.
My bedtime been passed. Yes, I was gonna stay up. I was staying up for this though. But as soon as this go on, I'm gone.
And you know, I love him for that. He's a great father. A lot of people don't know that he has 2 teen girls. He was a little hot ass at 14 and made 2 babies before he went in. They're a couple of weeks apart, and he's doing good. He's you know, if he still has questions and about having 2 teen girls is a lot. And you know, so it's just like, just seeing him in this element. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of you, Trey. You know how much I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
I was gonna ask you how it feels, but
Right, man.
I was about to ask this how it feels to see you on this side of things, but I don't have to, because she's already expressed that.
This is a dream come true.
It's a
And I
deep.
always tell him, I wanted to make sure he got home. And just to see him live life and don't exist anymore means everything to me.
Thank you, Mo.
You need to edit and cut that part out. But
You
No.
live, girl. Can't cut that now.
Too late.
I love my baby. He's that's my bonus son, and I shout out to his mom, Angela. I appreciate that she shares him with me, and again, I just love him to death. And things are just going to be better and better and better for you, and I'm going to always be Team Trayvion to the last breath of me.
Thank you.
Salute to Mo. That's the queen right there, man. I'm gonna come back. We bring this to a close. We're gonna close it out with Mo. Trey, thoughts, anything, messages to the world, just anything you want to say or you feel like anybody needs to know here, whatever's on your mind.
First, I just want to thank everybody, all my supporters from then and still support me now. Thank y'all. Thank you for everybody for coming to Chris live to this interview, and to certain people that's maybe watching this that just coming home or dead time. Just have patience, man. Just have patience to take your time. Don't give up, man. Do not.
That's it. Yeah, you the definition of don't. Nike need to sponsor you. The definition of don't give up.
Don't give up. I like that.
I like that too. Let's put that into the universe. I love that. I love that. And I love this platform, Chris. I love everything that you're doing as well. This is great. What you're doing in the podcast and giving people a voice, and people like Travion and I've seen a few of your other podcasts and stuff. Like, you were really born for this.
Thank you.
I'm seriously, like, you were really born for this. You're articulate, you know how to flow. This is so dope. Like, I'm so proud of you. And life has never, ever been that guy that changes on you. Never. And like, I've known him for 9 years. He's shout out to Freddie too. Him and Freddie, like, my favorite people in the world.
It's my counterpart.
My favorite people in the world. But that's about it. Just everybody, just, if you know somebody incarcerated, just send them a kite tonight. Send them a letter. Put $10 on their books, 15. That's gonna mean the world to them. Send them a card. It's gonna mean the world to them. Seriously.
I'm gonna bring this up and I'm gonna close it right here. This was my favorite comment. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat tonight, a part of the live. Shout out to everybody that's just supporting the content. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. Again, special thank you to Trayvion for jumping in here, man. I'm excited to see what else, what's in front of you. To learn that you're a father. I didn't know you were a father. You know what I'm saying? That's an amazing thing. So salute to you. We need more black fathers, not black daddies. We're gonna have that topic up here soon, so you might want to jump on that. But
we'll do.
Yes, salute to you, man. Definitely, we can. I'm here. I'm here. I'm just here to see it. I'm just here to witness it. And I wish and pray nothing, you know what I'm saying, but blessings, prosperity, and progress to you, to my sister Mo, and just peaceful transitions to wherever you want to go in life, man. You deserve it. You endured something that mentally and emotionally that unfortunately too many of us have, and it's looking like too many of us will, until something changes. So I see the mental, I see the strength in you, brother, and I want to say that to you.
Thank you.
I see that. Yeah, I see a heart. I see a good heart. I deal with people, man. I deal with so many people, Trayvion, day to day, and I see a heart. You don't see those in this world nowadays. So, talking to you for the first time in this way, I see what Mo was fighting for, who she was fighting for. So salute to you as well, Mo. You, my sister. I'll talk to you in a few. Monique Yesenia, awards dinner. April 27th,
Third.
23rd. 23rd. I know I gotta come back to the Commonwealth somewhere. I gotta come back like May 7th, but April 23rd, she's honoring a bunch of dope Black women that are doing awesome things. And I'm gonna shout out my wife, April Willis, who's being honored as well.
Educator of the year.
Educator of the year, man. So definitely, man. Salute to you for your event. Salute to you guys one more time. And salute to everybody, man. Good night. It's me and Travion. I know Travion's going to bed. What?
If they want to purchase tickets, they can go to www.Monique Yesenia. It's really Yesenia, but everybody says Yesenia. MoniqueYesenia.com. The tickets is actually moving really fast. And so, like, if you want to copy a ticket, please cop a ticket. Come out and support Life's Wife, and all the beautiful Black women from the 757, from Philly, from like we have some dope women. And then I'll be having my next re-entry award ceremony in September, and I'll actually be honoring Life. So
I've been wanting to come. I see the pictures. I always want to be a part of it. I can't wait.
So it's been a beautiful thing doing that and honoring returning citizens. And I wanted to put the spotlight on the great work that they're doing. Shout out to Brother Khalid and shout out to Banky. Before we hang up, I know we got to go, but I do want to say Banky Pound.
Yeah, all shout outs.
Banky Pound, I love you so much, because when Travion went into Wallins, Banky took him under his wing, and looked out for him. So I want to shout out Banky. Banky's the sweetest person ever, and he gives the greatest hugs. And he really does. And so I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Bank. Brother Khalid is he's in a class by himself. I love him so much. He's giving back so much to the community, and he's pouring into our children. And he's so very supportive. So shout out to those two brothers. I love y'all. And thank you for always checking on me and just being there for me. I appreciate it.
Trayvion, any shout outs before we go?
Yeah, man, my main man, Banky Pound too, man. And everybody who came and watched our live today, man. Thank y'all, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Salute the bank. Salute the Catchmore. Salute to Derek Redmond. I'm thinking about some names, some guys that were behind the wall. Yeah, man. Salute to everybody. My mind, I'm tired. I've been up forever, just like everybody else, grinding. Charging my mind and not my heart, man. Salute to all the advocates. Salute to the family members. And yeah, take care of our women, protect our women. To anybody that's watching this, that's got a woman that's with them, be with them. That's the best thing I did was to fight for my marriage, stay in my marriage, and keep going with my marriage. So, yeah, that's a word of encouragement. Again, Travion, Mo, salute to y'all. It's my bedtime. I'm tired.
So is Travion.
I really appreciate y'all. We can have conversations about serious things without it being all heavy, man. So yeah, I'm glad for that. And hey, I'm here for the ride, man. Salute to y'all. Many blessed years ahead. Let's get it done.
Peace. All right, bro. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.